Welcome back to my Star Wars Legends Expanded Universe chronological timeline rating, where I go through the expanded universe according to my personal timeline order and rank each and every individual piece of media on a 10-point scale. Today I have Odan-Urr Recording, The Great Hyperspace War, which is found on pages 14 to 16 of Jedi vs. Sith, The Essential Guide to the Force. It's by Ryder Windham and was published in 2007. The short story was published by Del Rey and it takes place approximately 4,990 BBY. The story takes the form of a transmission recorded by Jedi Master Odan-Urr for students who are Jedi. And he starts right off the bat by saying that he feels uncomfortable talking about historical events in which he was a part of, which is very interesting. He then goes on to summarize the Great Hyperspace War. So he summarizes the entire events of Tales of the Jedi, The Golden Age of the Sith, and Tales of the Jedi, The Fall of the Sith Empire. He summarizes those stories pretty much completely, mentions Master Uru dying and Gav Daragon dying, and he just summarizes it. That's pretty much what this short story is. However, there is one unique, interesting detail that is definitely new EU. So he mentions that the Sith holocron, which he found at the end of Tales of the Jedi, The Fall of the Sith Empire, issue number 5, he mentions in this short story that that holocron contained on it information that Naga Sadow had in fact survived Empress Teta's assault, which they weren't for sure. They thought he had survived, but they weren't sure. Well, on that Sith holocron, Odan-Urr found information that said that Naga Sadow had, in fact, escaped into the Yavin system. And he was saying, I don't pretend to know how a Sith holocron works, and I have no idea how information found on a Sith holocron nowhere near Naga Sadow, and made presumably centuries before Naga Sadow even existed, how it could know that Naga Sadow escaped, survived, and where he was going. How could it know that? And he was like, I don't know how it works. But it was an interesting detail. Definitely new EU there. Overall, is this story worth your time? I wouldn't say so. This is probably about a 3 of 10 for me. It's summarizing comic issues that I've just read. It doesn't add a lot. It adds some, but this short story just doesn't add enough for it to be that engaging. It's about 2 pages long, so it's fairly sizable, but it just doesn't add enough to warrant it being essential. So I would say this is a pretty skippable recap, but it does have some new EU in there, and it's interesting to get to hear Odan-Urr's point of view on some of the events that happened, expresses sadness over the whole thing and talk about his involvement from a historical past tense perspective. That's always interesting. But I should mention that Marcel Ryan, the Revanchist on YouTube, he reads this story out, the entire story. So if you're too lazy to read it yourself, either in the book or looking it up online, make sure to go over to the Revanchist channel. The very video will be linked into the description of him reading this story. So, yeah, go listen to his reading. It's really well done, and come back here and then tell me if you think this was better than a 2 of 10 or worse than a 2 of 10. Let me know what you thought of Odan-Urr Recording, The Great Hyperspace War.
Honey.